Section 1. General Warnings. Necessary conditions for a proper wine tasting practice.
To face a wine tasting and to learn quickly and confidently handle the sense of smell and taste, it is necessary that these two senses are at their maximum effectiveness. There are some frequent cases which can inhibit the proper functioning of these senses. It is important to keep in mind certain behaviors and habits to avoid as much as possible.
Smoke.
Unfortunately, smokers have the misfortune to start with a huge disadvantage, because after a long time smoking, the heat of the cigarette anesthetizes and irreversibly damages a significant amount of taste buds on the surface of the tongue, while the intensity of the smoke smell, the frequency of the smoking act, and the accumulation of the constant intoxication the cigarette causes significantly decrease the perception of the senses of smell and taste. For this reason, if you really have the desire to seriously enter the world of wine, the first suggestion for smokers is to try to quit as soon as possible, and maybe even use this new passion as a springboard for giving up a habit as damaging as useless, in favor of a form of culture that the world of fine wines represents. As a final consideration, the money that is daily spent on buying cigarettes could be rather used to buy fine wines without necessarily increasing personal outlays.
Allergies.
In Western countries, there are many people suffering because of allergies, and unfortunately, this strange illness is increasing. Allergies are even defined as welfare illness. In fact, many allergies are just caused by too much hygiene that has characterized the first phase of our life. For allergies which inhibits the respiratory activity, it is recommended, if prescribed by a doctor, not to discontinue antihistamine treatments, especially in the most critical times of the year.
Antibiotics for treating respiratory diseases.
In case of respiratory diseases treated with antibiotics, the senses of taste and smell may reveal changes in the perception for a certain period of time, in particular when such respiratory diseases are still present even if greatly reduced. Even the doctor will generally be the first one to advise you not to drink alcohol at that delicate period.
Coffee.
Drinking coffee before wine tasting is not recommended because of the persistence typical of this nerve-affecting drink. The sense of taste is critically changed and its flavor remains for a long time, affecting the perceptual activity. To recover as quickly as possible to the optimal conditions, you should rinse your mouth several times, drink a lot of water, and overall wash the lips where thick coffee deposits remain, and once they will be prompted by a fluid such as saliva or even the wine, it would immediately give back all the aroma of the coffee previously drunk.
Perfumes and makeup.
When you are getting ready for wine tasting, it is preferable to avoid applying perfumes to your body, most of all nearby your mouth. In fact, lipsticks, lip glosses and face foundations that are not completed without smell are not recommended.
Conditions of the stomach.
For the best result for a wine tasting session, you can take advantage of certain physiological conditions of the body which induce the human body to be more prepared to use the senses of smell and taste. The ideal conditions would be to taste in the morning with an empty stomach. As this condition is not particularly easy to handle, you should take a small amount of food with a certain frequency, especially during an all day dedicated to the taste of several wines, for example when you actively participate in a wine exhibition. It is better to avoid tasting wine after a substantial meal, because in that particular situation the result would be too much conditioned by the food and too weary for the digestion. In this specific case, it would be appropriate to let a few hours pass before starting to taste with accurate results.